Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. You guys know me. You know that I sell real estate in Utah. You know that I've lived here for a long time, but a lot of people don't know that I've actually lived in other states like Texas, North Carolina, California, Hawaii, and it's given me a different perspective on living in Utah than most people may have that have been here their entire life. And that's what I want to share with you today. I put together my list of the top 10 reasons why someone should not move to Utah and things you may want to consider if you and your family are looking to move to this beautiful state. All right, so let's just jump right into this video and go over the 10 reasons why you should not move to Utah. Utah has experienced incredible growth over the last 5 years, and it looks like it's only going to continue moving upward. And that growth is great for the state, for tax dollars and revenue and things like that. But one of the things that growth brings with it is increased cost of living. In Utah, we have one of the highest cost of living expenses per capita, and as property values increase, we're only going to see more of that. Now, that wouldn't be a problem if Utah didn't also have one of the lowest average household incomes in the entire country. Yeah, growth is great, but if that cost of living is going up and the income is not matching the cost of living increases, it may cause stress to you and your family that you just really don't want or deserve. Utah has a high cost of living. Well, a lot of that cost of living is due to increased housing prices. Now, I know what you're thinking, but some people have made a ton of money on their houses in the last couple of years, and you're 100% right. Like, we have seen increases in the double digits for 3 years in a row now, and all the projections say that we're just going to keep increasing that property value for the next 2 to 3 years, and maybe even longer than that. That's good news for an existing homeowner. That means that you're going to start banking some serious equity in your house.
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
But what about if you're somebody that is a first-time home buyer or someone that's an experienced homeowner, but you need to sell your house before you can buy one? Well, you're going to find some pains in the market because we don't have enough inventory to meet housing requirements. So we have a lot of competition on houses. Some of our prices are going up beyond the market value of the property because there's such a demand for it. The number one thing you have to do is work with the right real estate agent. Now, I would love for you to work with me and my team. We know Utah like the back of our hand. We're born and raised here. We've sold hundreds of homes here. But even if you're not working with us, you need to work with an agent who understands the Utah market, knows how to get you the house that you want at the price that's right for you on the terms that you're comfortable with. Okay, that's the most important thing. Please do not go out like everybody else and just overpay for a house that you're going to regret in a couple of years. Be patient, have the right strategy with your agent, and I promise you'll get into a house so now you can kick back like everybody else and watch the property values continue to increase, knowing you're building equity all along the way. Number 3, Utah has very limited diversity. Now, I was born here and it was a completely whitewashed experience all through my life until I was 15 and I moved to North Carolina, and all of a sudden I was the minority in the school. But unfortunately, Utah has not caught up to the rest of the country when it comes to diversity. It is a very vanilla state, and that may be a challenge for some people, especially if you have an alternative lifestyle. Now look, like, I'm a heavily tattooed person in Utah, and the Mormons are super nice, and I haven't had a lot of negative feedback. Like, it's never stopped me from selling homes or helping people into homes, but it does come with a stigma because our state is not as advanced because there's not as much diversity. Now, the good news is that as the state continues to grow and attract talent from out of state, whether that's talent in a new company coming in like Adobe, or a new business being formed like Purple, or through the success of our college programs like the University of Utah, BYU, even Utah State that won their title last year, we're seeing more diversity come into the state. Number 4 on my list of 10 reasons not to move to Utah is how conservative the state is. I would call it an extremely conservative state. At the core, Utah is a Mormon state. Now, yeah, we have a lot of people that have come to Utah that are no longer Mormon or that were never Mormon. Like, our state finally tipped to where 51% of the population is non-Mormon. It is still a Mormon influenced state. A lot of the state leaders, legislatures, judges, lobbyists, they belong to the Mormon religion. So the Mormon doctrine, the Mormon principles influence a lot of Utah law.
Yeah, you're not? No. Why, you're Mormon? Some get Jesus Christ.
Now, in a perfect world, we would have a true separation of state and church. I wish we had that, but in Utah, we really don't, all right? And that may not be the best thing for you if you're coming from a more liberal state or a non-conservative state. That may be something to consider. With that comes reason number 5 not to move to Utah, which is our liquor laws. So if you want to see my complete breakdown of our wacky Utah liquor laws, make sure you check the description where you can get a link to that video that I think you're really going to enjoy. But for the sake of this video, let me just sum it up. Utah has always been incredibly conservative when it comes to alcohol. Like up until recently, you could not buy any beer stronger than 3.2% alcohol by volume in a convenience store or in a grocery store. I'm not a big beer drinker, but when you talk to beer drinkers, they will tell you that's like drinking watered down beer.
Cranberry juice.
It's a natural diuretic. My girlfriend drinks it when she's got her period. What do you get, your period?
In Utah, if you want any heavy beer, which is any beer with an alcohol content of 5% or more, if you want to have wine, if you want to have tequila, vodka, anything like that, you have to go to a state-run liquor store to purchase it. And those stores have very different operating hours depending on which one you go to. They're always closed on Sunday and they're closed on major holidays. Now look, if you're somebody like me who doesn't drink a lot, the Utah liquor laws are not going to affect you at all. But I know a lot of people do like to have a drink with their dinner or if they're celebrating or just party from time to time. And if that's you, the liquor laws may affect you. So make sure you understand what you're getting into when you move to Utah, especially regarding our Utah liquor laws. Number 6 is our lack of professional sports. Now, this is one that I hear a lot, especially from people who are big NFL fans and Major League Baseball fans. They're like, yeah, but Utah doesn't have any professional sports teams. And they're 100% right. Our only professional sports team is the Utah Jazz. But we do have great supporting teams. Like we have AAA baseball in the Bees. We do have the Ogden Raptors, which is another baseball team. We have minor league hockey for the Grizzlies. And we have college sports with some very major contenders in the University of Utah, BYU, and Utah State. Now, you cannot talk about Utah without talking about our extreme weather, and that's what's coming in at number 7. We have a great saying here in Utah that says, if you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes and it's gonna change. We can have a blizzard in the morning and be at 60 degrees later in the day. It's very finicky, extreme weather, whether that's a very harsh winter, an early spring, a super hot, dry heat summer, or a frigid fall. Now, with that extreme weather comes some great opportunities. Like in the winter, we have fantastic ski resorts, snowboarding, outdoor activities like snowshoeing, snow skiing, even sledding. Great things to do in the winter. And in the summer, once that heat comes, we have hiking trails, biking trails, we have Moab. We have so many different things you can do outdoors, like lakes, driving the canyon, hiking the canyon, things like that. So if you're somebody who can't get through extreme weather and all 4 seasons, then Utah is not going to be a place where you're going to feel very comfortable. Okay, but that's just my opinion. I would love to know what you think. And not just about this, what do you think about the list so far? Go ahead and give me a comment on what you think the number 1 reason is that I've given so far why you wouldn't want to move to Utah. Just go ahead and put it in the comments because I'd love to see what you think. Number 8 is our road conditions. Is not only are you dealing with some roads that have been chopped up and are very hard to drive, you're dealing with a lot of road construction in the summertime to fix the damaged roads and to try to get in and build more roads to reach these communities that are springing up all over the place. Number 9 is Utah's horrible air quality. Salt Lake and the surrounding cities are located in the valley. In addition to the traffic that's creating all this smog and this nasty air, we have oil refineries here right at the base of the mountain that are putting off these horrible carbon emissions and making our air quality in Utah some of the worst in the country. In the winter, the valley is going to experience more air pollution and more smog because it's just a lower elevation than the rest of the mountains. A lot of people are moving to the mountains like Park City, Jeremy Ranch, maybe even Morgan, where you're above the smog and everything that's really taking the city by storm. Other things that you can do is buy an existing home that has a HEPA filter. A HEPA filter is something that you can put onto your heating and air conditioning unit so that as you're bringing in air from the outside that may be polluted, the HEPA filter is cleaning it and putting nice, clean, wonderful air into your home so you're not breathing in all the toxins and pollutants and things like that. All right, we made it. Number 10 on my reasons not to move to Utah. This one actually hits very close to home. Lack of public transportation. Growing up, I lived in Mill Creek. My mom worked downtown. The only way to see her was to take the bus. Now, since I was a kid, Utah has made huge improvements on their public transportation system. We now have tracks. We have Front Runner, that's the major train that connects all the major cities. And we have buses spread out throughout the entire valley. Taking the bus can be a huge pain in the butt because you're trying to catch the right bus and make the right transfer and get to the right bus stop at the right time and hope the right bus is running. So if you're moving to Utah and you don't have a car and you're relying solely on public transportation, look for a home in a community that has everything you need within walking distance or within a short bus ride or a short train ride. That's a great way to do it. And if you ever need help finding the right community, whether it's a new build or an existing home, my team and I are here to help every step of the way. You can get in touch with us by looking for the link in the description below. But that's it. That's my list of 10 reasons not to move to Utah. If you've made it through this list, then you may want to go check out my video on reasons why you should move to Utah. Because like I said, I was born and raised here. I've lived in different states, but this is where I choose to come back to always call home, and this is where I'm raising my family. It's a fantastic state, a great place to live in, a great place to grow up, despite these 10 things I said that may be reasons why you don't want to move to Utah. So thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next video.